Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Now, Charlamagne has his podcast festival going down in Atlanta.
I do. It's Saturday, April 27th. Go get your tickets right now at blackeffect.com/podcast festival or eventbrite.com. But today is also National Co-Parenting Day. I am very excited about National Co-Parenting Day. And not next hour, because next hour is Candace Owens. The hour after that, Jess Hilarious' original baby father, Rome will be here to talk about how they co-parent, because they have such an interesting co-parenting situation.
I don't like original because y'all trying to make Chris sound like he's not original. He's original in his own little way.
What you want to see? I don't want to see one. You want to see part two? I don't know.
Not part two. Just Rome and Chris. That's it. They have their names. Ain't no.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Rome, damn OG.
Rome. He doesn't know.
He is the OG.
I like
he's
Rome.
He's the OG of Ash.
I enjoyed Rome's story.
Well, we're going to talk to Rome, not next hour, but the following hour. But right now, let's get to Jess with the Mess.
She don't spare nobody.
Worldwide Jess, worldwide Mess. She's a culture shift.
All day. What's good?
On the Breakfast Club.
Jess with the Worldwide Mess. Nickelodeon documentary recap. So Dan Schneider showed signs of inappropriate behavior early in his career. One of his first shows,
Dan Schneider is the writer or producer?
He is the producer. He's the showrunner, all of this stuff, right?
Gotcha.
All right, Dan, don't ask questions, Envy.
I got to.
Damn, this is a lot already.
Don't ask questions. Let her talk.
All right.
Thank you. So, one of his first shows, he hired a female writer for having friends he fired a female writer for having friends at her house over the weekend. He was like famous for getting too personal with the people that worked on the set.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He was too in their personal lives. And Amanda Bynes actually wanted to run away. For those who don't know Amanda Bynes, y'all should. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. But she wanted to run away from home because her parents told her that she couldn't date an older boy. But Dan Schneider helped her run away and convinced her to file for emancipation, but the emancipation didn't go through. Now, emancipation is when you can basically get permission from the state to be free to do whatever you want before you're legal, right? And that would exclude him from child laws. So he convinced her to do it. He reportedly convinced a lot of his child actors to get emancipated because it would exempt them from child laws. I'm sorry.
Dealing with their parents.
Absolutely. The doc shares the names of multiple predators on set.
In 2005, there was another case, Izelle Channel, a worker at the Nickelodeon lot in Burbank. He brought a child to the lot, a boy, and was convicted of abusing that child on the lot. He actually had prior convictions as a sex offender, and Nickelodeon didn't catch it. Jason Michael Handy, Brian Peck, and then Izelle Channel. These are three predators who worked at Nickelodeon, all in a short amount of time.
Horrible, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Peck was not a writer. I know I said he was a writer yesterday, but if y'all pay attention to everything I report about this, I originally said that he was a dialogue coach on set. So, yeah, I do apologize. One of the child actors, Kyle Sullivan, spoke on a surprising friendship that Brian Peck had. For those who don't know, a quick Google search says John Wayne Gacy, who was an American serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 young women.
What?
Young men and boys. Yep, in Norwood Park Township near Chicago, Illinois. That was his. That was actually his pen pal. He actually was in kind of a little bit of love with this guy.
Everyone went to Brian's house for a barbecue, and his house was a little off. He had a room that was just dedicated to vintage toys and comic books. I noticed a painting in the room that stuck out to me. It was of a birthday clown holding balloons. And Brian got very excited when I asked him about it. He flipped the thing around, and on the back it said, "To Brian, I hope you enjoy the painting. Best wishes, your friend, John Wayne Gacy." It was a self-portrait of serial killer, John Wayne Gacy. And Brian actually developed a pen pal relationship with John. He kept this pile of letters and photos from John Wayne Gacy in his nightstand next to his bed.
Very weird. Yep. And then Jason Handy was also, who the lady also talked about. He was also an employee on the set. He was a production assistant, a PA on the Nickelodeon set. He was alone with kids very often. Yep. He was along with kids very often. He was arrested on multiple charges after the police got an anonymous tip about him. And he had built relationships with child actors who had small roles on shows as extras, promising them future roles. And we have audio from him as well.
Law enforcement had been tipped off about Jason Handy's inappropriate behavior towards children. So in 2003, they searched his home. They find this enormous trove of child pornography. Over 10,000 images of children, including 1,768 images of young girls in erotic poses, 238 images of young girls in sexually explicit poses,
Jesus.
and 2 images of girls engaged in bondage activity. One of the CDs included 7 video files of minors engaged in sexually explicit conduct.
Lord have mercy.
Yep, they also found his journal, and he admitted to some crazy things. He also wrote about his relationship with a 9-year-old girl who was a guest on the Star show, Cousin Skeeter.
I am a pedophile, full-blown. I really have been giving in to my desire for little girls these past few weeks, and I even struggle on a day-to-day basis of how I can find a victim to rape if I have to.
And these are all people employed by
Nickelodeon?
Dan Schneider.
Oh, Dan Schneider.
Yep, Nickelodeon, but Dan Schneider, he was over top of everybody.
I haven't watched this documentary and don't plan to because I don't want that in my spirit, but I just want to know what happens next. Is this going to lead to charges being brought against these individuals? Have charges already been brought against these people?
Yes, actually, Brian Peck, remember I reported a story about him. He was Drake's predator, Drake Bell's predator that he spoke about, and he only served 16 months in jail. And then he went to work for Disney. They gave him a job at Disney. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know what's going to come out of
this.
putting all of this out there. Because if nothing comes of it, then they're just exploiting these kids' trauma for profit.
Well, you see what's
ask me.
happening. It seems like more and more of these kids are coming out and talking about other people that have been sexually assaulting them and doing these type of things, which is what we want because we want to protect these kids and these child actors.
Well, that's what we want if it leads to people actually being arrested and
outed.
charged. Yeah,
but then a lot of people they have mental illness because their story has never been told. I mean, so I still think that it's, of course they should be compensated if something happens, and then also like these people should be put in jail and all
Absolutely.
that. But just still to know about this, that's why I'm glad. My son don't want to do TV. I would never even let him. I don't even care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stories like this should be told, just for both sides of it.
Right.
This industry is very wicked.
All right. Well, that is Jess with the Mess.
the worldwide mess.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, when we come back, Teslin Figaro will be joining us. We're going to kick it with Tez, and then Candace Owens will be in the building. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.